What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Reyes.
Even though the CW has done some rebranding over the years, no one has expected that a sci-fi drama series filled with romance in a post-apocalyptic world would be one of the few. When it first premiered in 2014, fans were not exactly thrilled, but after watching some episodes, they were swept off of their feet. And today, we will have a look behind the scenes, outside of the big screen, and go over some of the things that were happening away from our sight. Lexa's death sparked a huge controversy among fans. With how the TV show had stated itself, it got a lot of praise for their ethnical diversity. When the cast is concerned, and the feminist message became the poster child of bury your gays television trope. The fan reaction after Lexa's death was intense for the fans, to say the least. Viewers reporting difficulty sleeping and anxiety. And it didn't help that the showrunners said that Lexa would make it to the season finale. The issue was that Alicia Debnam Carey had to leave to begin filming the second season of The Fear of the Walking Dead. And writers thought that she was just, more important than just making merely an occasional appearance. Fans thought that her death could have played out differently, and not right after her relationship with Clarke started. The writers tried to be compassionate about it, but their apologies fell flat. The show's viewership has dropped. The amount of followers to the writer of the episode where Lexa died wasn't the only thing dropping. The numbers of the series dropped significantly when Lexa died, and since then, they never managed to fully recover. Yes, it is normal for some series to drop in viewership as time goes on, but in this case it happened so suddenly, and it took place right after Lexa's death. The week after the controversial episode aired, many fans refused to watch the show, and even a Twitter riot broke out. Fans complaining about the state of things and saying that they deserved better, and during this time, almost 1/5 of the viewership has dropped in a matter of days, which is crazy if you ask us.
I can't sacrifice my people anymore. If you do anything to hurt Octavia, I'll tell everyone we knew about the missile.
Wells is a main character in the books. As the show was introducing characters, Wells showed up, and ever since his showing on the big screen, he had the character and the makings of a leading man, a main character, so to say. But after the 3rd episode went by with him in the spotlight, his time in the series was long gone, as he was killed by Charlotte, a very shocking moment for many of us, showing that no one is safe. And for the people that read Kass Morgan's book series of the show, they all know that Wells Jaha is a main character, but they can also see that there isn't much common things between the books and the series, and one of the deviations was seen right at the start with the death of Wells. Oh, and also, he and Bellamy are half-brothers in the books.
Sorry.
Raven was meant to be killed off during season 1. Yes, it may seem ridiculous, but Raven Reyes was supposed to be killed during season 1, as she was a complication in the Clarke and Finn relationship, and many shows would have used her as a plot device, and end her appearance on the show as a big turnaround, but that was not the case here. Raven Reyes, portrayed by Lindsey Morgan, was supposed to be a guest star, but what she brought for the role impressed not just the fans, but also the showrunners, granting her a reprieve, making her a regular in the series from the 2nd season onwards. Ever since season 1, Raven has been through a lot, and she is still the fan favorite for many years now. And she's also one of the very few characters who are disabled, but not defined by her disability.
That bridge has survived a nuclear war and 97 years of weather.
It won't survive me.
The CW wanted the show to be even darker. Many believed that The 100 would just be another CW series full of pretty people and romances overshadowing everything else that was happening around them, every element of the story at hand. Even though they have spent the last few years to give the show a superhero makeover, The 100 still stayed one of the different ones, and viewers after watching some episodes saw that this is not the case. When the series was discussed with CW's head, Mark Pedowitz, even though this is a CW show, they could not adapt to its traits, but rather made it a little different, and at one moment he even said that despite the show being dark, killing off more than 300 innocent people during the first season, he wanted it to be even darker. The show was picked up before the first book was even published. You might not know this, but one of the reasons that the show and the books have so little in common is because at the time of the first season's production, the latter books hadn't been written yet. Jason Rothenberg was interested in adapting the series before the first book was even published. The 100 premiered in March 2014, while the first novel was released in September 2013. So this period of time leaves a little time for the two to share similarities, and also the books were not influenced either by the series whatsoever. The story between the two of them have taken completely different forms, and the characters share so little when it comes to their resemblance. For better or worse, you can't read ahead and learn what exactly will happen to your favorite characters either.
We built this from nothing with our bare hands. Our dead are buried behind that wall, in this ground. Our ground.
Henry Ian Cusick was sued for harassment in 2009. The Marcus Kane we all know, portrayed by Henry Ian Cusick, was previously on the big screen in the series Lost as Desmond Hume. The villainous Hungry Kane, as evolved throughout the series, running into a more self-aware character who thrives to become a better man, and outside of the show, he knows what it's like to have troubled past. During his time at ABC in the Lost series, he was sued for harassment in 2009 by Chelsea Stone, an ABC staffer who accused Henry of making unwelcomed advances and groping her. Stone was fired 2 weeks later after reporting the 2007 incident to her superiors. She sued Cusick, ABC, and Hawaiian production company, Grass Skirt Entertainment. Stone eventually settled out of court, but the terms remain confidential. Steve Talley was fired after fans discovered his offensive Twitter account. As the relationship between Raven and Wick was heating up, the writers had to make a decision to break them off, with the cause being of Raven's personality of pushing everyone away from her, which was highly doubted by the fans, but rather Wick, portrayed by Steve Talley, had to leave the show because of his offensive jokes on his Twitter account that the fans discovered. The account was rife with offensive content, from racist jokes to KKK's memberships and so on. The comments were probably meant in a jest, but no one else beside him was laughing. The account hasn't been verified at the time of it belonging to Talley, but the showrunners left only a little doubt as to its authenticity, and Talley was fired from the show, thus ending the relationship in the series between him and Raven. Marie Avgeropoulos is older than she looks. There is a long tradition of actors playing roles of teenagers, with them being way off from that part in their real lives. Something like the role from Charisma Carpenter as Cordelia Chase in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, to Andrew Garfield playing Peter Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man. When cast, the actors were 27 and 28 years old, respectively, but both played high school students. Sometimes the age difference is very much obvious. Some other times they appear to be the same age as the character they are playing. This was the case for Marie Avgeropoulos, who plays fan favorite Octavia Blake, as the youngest of all teens in the series, with her having 28 years at the time of the casting. Not only does she blend in with the others, she also looks even younger than several of the co-stars that are a few years younger than her.
We will take back the farm. For one crew, and that includes the innocent people on the other side of that door.
Richard Harmon wanted to play the role of Bellamy Blake. While we are at the subject of Octavia, we are going to talk about the role of her brother, who dedicated his whole life of protecting her. Even though the role went to Bob Morley, he wasn't the only one interested in it. Richard Harmon also read for the very same role, who actually went on to be cast as John Murphy. Although the producers never revealed why they made their decision the way they did, it is obvious that both actors are happy with the outcome. Each of these characters is incredibly complex, and both of them have evolved through the seasons. Fans may not agree with the outcomes and choices that producers make, but we can safely say that their decision was on point, and they chose wisely when it comes to this series cast at the end.
I need you to stay here. The grounders are circling. I can't leave this place unprotected.
Fine. Somebody better tell Goggle Boy to keep it shut.
This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Drop a comment in the section below whether you knew some of the details from behind the scenes, and if you didn't, tell us which of the facts behind the scenes have surprised you the most. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more videos like this in the future.